This is a difficult one to process. I made a vow to make sure I had reviewed every Charlie Brown animated special by the end of this year. But if this is one of those you've never heard of, there's kind of a reason for that. It Was My Best Birthday Ever, Charlie Brown never actually aired on American television. That made me wonder if it's really in my jurisdiction to review. Except that, well, there were two other specials that never made it onto the American airwaves, and I already reviewed both of them. So I guess I can't back out of this one. Even though after watching it, I think there's a reason it never aired on TV. Let's just get into it. We open with, oh no, 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 no. Yep, they're going all extreme to the max with this one! Is anyone surprised this thing was originally made in 1997? Remember when the Schultz kids said they didn't want this kind of trendy stuff in the 2015 Peanuts movie? Maybe there's a reason I remember that thing more fondly. So after 3 minutes of shilling for the X Games, we get Linus and everyone else at this birthday party where, musical chairs, where have I seen that before? And Snoopy is trying out his new DJ gig, and all this is doing is making me pine for Flash Beagle. Here's all you need to know. We don't get our first words of dialogue until nearly 5.5 minutes into the show. And all this does is show us that Sally is becoming even more of an idiotic bitch than ever. Really, is there any likable female character in the Peanuts universe? I suppose Marcy. Guess who isn't in this special? So we go back to Linus and his rollerblading. Man, this must have been the cheapest Peanuts special ever with so little dialogue and so much reused animation. Until finally, 7.5 minutes in, we get to Linus discovering this girl singing in a garden somewhere. And yes, she's singing O Mio Babino Caro. I guess I should be grateful these writers clearly watched She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown. So naturally, Linus falls for this girl because he's actually as love-desperate as Charlie Brown. In fact, if this special ends with this girl leaving Linus for Chuck, it may become my favorite ever. Yeah, we know that won't happen, but a guy can dream. So after 1 day of doing gardening with her, Linus goes so far as to invite her to his own birthday party in a few days. Well, at least we can give credit that Linus has more restraint than Snoopy with these crushes. And Linus skates off with O Mio now stuck in his head, and of course, Woodstock has to sing along. Again, is this actually in canon with She's a Good Skate? So next we get a bunch of gags about Linus making a fool of himself because he can't get that girl out of his head. Like doing a bunch of algebra and quantum physics on the chalkboard. Again, this kid is supposed to be in 1st grade. And mistakenly going into the shower when he wants a glass of water at night. Insert your own cold shower joke here.
You're inviting a total stranger to your birthday party? Are you out of your mind? I am out of my mind.
Okay, if Lucy starts turning everything to ice, runs for the mountains, and begins singing Let It Go, I'm out of here. Also, he invited Sally? Okay, that is just asking for a cat fight. That leads to another 3 minutes of filler where everyone is shopping for Linus's party along with Snoopy shopping for himself, Charlie Brown? Okay, if I could get a dog that will take care of the groceries, I sure as heck wouldn't be constantly wishing for a normal dog. So we finally get to the birthday party the title actually references, with just 5 minutes to go in the show. And much of that is Linus constantly walking away from the party to check and see if his new love interest is actually going to show up. We don't even get a good full musical Chairs or Lucy Says bit here. Remember the older specials where they at least put out effort? It finally gets to the part where everyone is ready to sing happy birthday, but Linus wants none of it because she still hasn't shown up. And since she never does, he ends up having a nervous breakdown on the level of if he lost his blanket. Oh, who are we kidding? Of course she shows up right at the end, because this is Linus, not Charlie Brown. Linus always gets the girl in the end, even though it's only to sing happy birthday to him before being ridden off in Scrooge McDuck's limo. I mean, there's Love 'em and Leave 'em, but this really takes the cake. And that's pretty much it. We get another minute taken up of dance music, before we then skip to the next day, where Linus is pining over whether he'll ever see her again, while Charlie must be using extreme willpower to not say, "Now you know how it feels, kid," before we fade out as Woodstock sings the "Oh Mio." Yeah, I think I'm definitely rewatching She's a Good Skate after this one. Ugh, this was just a slow pain to get through. I give credit that as far as I know, it was an original story idea, but it seems like an original story that needed throwbacks to so many cartoons of years past to put it all together. And even still, there wasn't enough plot to last a full 20 minutes. So much of the special, including the entire first act, contains pretty much nothing but filler. That's not good when the whole beginning is time waste material. It feels like this, more than any other, might have worked as one segment of the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show, but even if it was reduced to a 5-minute short, I feel this would be just forgetful. I'd say one big issue was centering this plot around a character that isn't Charlie Brown or Snoopy, but we've seen from She's a Good Skate alone that they can make a cartoon focused on one of the side characters and make it work. Maybe it's because I just never got into any of these stories where the Peanuts kids, who are supposed to be around 6 to 8 years old, are all pining about finding the one true love of their lives. I mean, geez Louise, when I was their age, I mostly cared about finishing Super Mario Brothers. Stuff like this makes me wonder if they'd be better off making a story where characters like Linus just went away. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna have to review that one next, aren't I?